Yo, what's up, it's your boy, Luke Tardick, if you're a recruiter, and today I'm here with the 6th installment to the Steam Next Fest Winter Showcase. Yes, Pink Noise. This one is a visual novel, I do know that, and I need to preface this words. I did play this, but the footage fucked up. So, here we are again. I haven't had to redo footage in a long time. It literally was my computer effed up and then went out power and then turned it back on, file fucked up. So here we go again. I learned parts of this though. Not only obviously because I went through the whole thing, but this game optimization wise has some technical issues, not in a bad way. Well, yes, technically, not in a way that it looks bad, in the way that this fucker can hurt, like slow the fuck out of my PC if I take too long. So I'm going to save like a couple times on the way through this so you're aware. And you're also going to see old saves for that exact reason. Anyways, let us keep going and hop right into Pink Noise. Fall came to Riverwood with cold winds and the first drizzle. Narrow streets were wrapped in the mist, clinging to the rooftops, tangling in the bushes, and swirling around fields. Along with the drizzle, blackness suited the suburb that nestled among forest and mountains. It was a decaying, quiet place waiting for winter to come. As the evening wore on, the town was getting wrapped in thickening twilight, with only a few streetlights serving as the sole islands of light in the ocean of darkness. During such an evening, ordinary and cold, 4 teenagers were strolling around an old park, holding a lively discussion. The first fallen leaves were rustling under their feet. Meanwhile, bare branches, as if mourning the loss of their vibrant attire, were creaking drawlingly and plaintively. I fucked it up the first time too. Plaintively in the wind. One of the girls jumped into the blur of obscure light cast by an old street lamp. Ain't gonna catch me. As the only one to perceive them, Eva wiped shadow webs off her cardigan. She glanced at the overgrown bushes, which had long forgotten the care of gardening shears. No chow time tonight, beast. The other girl scoffed at her friend's silly gestures. If Brian was as agile, we wouldn't have been stuck in school till night. The chemistry room's never been as tidy as after today's cleaning. She demonstrated her fingers wrinkled because of hot water and red palms. It wasn't my bad Miss Hopstone hadn't saved enough teeth to avoid lisping and spitting. Instead, she should have explained clearly the bottle must have been left open. Well, actually, she explained, but you still put 3 chlorine tablets into rubbing alcohol instead of 1. No surprise the reaction was more extreme. Yeah, that was something else. My left ear is still ringing. Eva nodded, catching the blur of light. It was her... Eva nodded, catching the blur of light. It was her first reprimand ever received during the whole school time. Surely she would... Eva nodded, catching the blur of light. It was the first reprimand ever received during the whole school time. Eva nodded, catching the blur of light. It was her first reprimand ever received during the whole school time. Surely she would have gotten much more upset if it was not Brian's fault, but still. Alright. I meant to say this, there's also translation errors. I'll do my best to get through it, so stick with me. He lifted up his hand in an apologetic gesture. Next time we team up, I won't let you down. I'll put 2 chlorine tablets. The group passed by a row of houses that were as dissimilar as one another as it were The group passed by a room of houses that were as dissimilar to one another as it was possible in a suburb. Look over there. I noticed this last time. I didn't say shit. I meant to say something. Look over there. Who the fuck? Oh yeah, this is a dynamic background, by the way, so keep your eyes open. You're gonna see some shit. The orange windows of the time-worn houses glowed faintly, as though the light itself had aged and could no longer disperse the thickening darkness. I didn't see everything, so hopefully I might even catch some new shit this time. Oh, look, they moved. Look at that. Someone's watching us. From the shadows. Well, not really, but from the houses. The buildings they were walking past seemed to contrast in neglect. Every other resident could be easily considered an eccentric of the town. For instance, Greybone used to leave a rusty mower on the doorstep, which he was leaning on instead of a cane for 2 decades. None of us would remember that, as we were too fucking young. Well, we're too fucking young. We were literal children. And we are all still in high school, so there's no way that we would, I believe, there's no way we would actually know that supposed thing happened. But sure, the abandoned duplex across the road was still keeping the scars of old fire. Its windows were boarded up. Even during the day, this place had a miserable look, so the teens kept their distance. So, yeah, teens. No fucking way we know about the fucking, the thing being there for a decade, but okay. Oh, Miss Harvard's house. The gloomy old lady had knitted another pear-shaped cat and exhibited on the terrace, thus growing her ugly army. Look at these fuckers. Look at these. The faces can be cute. Like, this one's cute. Look at that. Look cute. Like, oh my god. But like, why? I think I said it last time. Could you imagine if you left one of these out? Because she knitted them. So you know if you left that, it'd be like just a heavy ass piece of fabric just soaked up all the damn water. Right. You had a cup of tea together. Didn't little Tony apologize? Once Eva's brother had taken one of the cats and brought it home. Neither mother nor father had drawn their attention to this. As an older sister, she had been supposed to explain the sin of taking other people's belongings. I was the one to apologize. Miss Harvitz didn't say a word. She only gave us a cold stare and sniffed loudly. She scared poor Tony so much that he couldn't fall asleep for half a night. With what? Just sniffing? And a cold stare. That stare. Everybody knows that stare. It's usually people associated with their father. They're like, ooh, that stare. It's like disappointment. Doesn't say a word, just looks at you like, mm-hmm. You know what the fuck you did. That stare kept him up for half a night. You're such a giving heart to your brother. He might be raising a hella night. Why in the world would he want to snaffle a cat? Well, it ain't even a real cat. If it was a real cat, it'd be like taking home a stray. I think that's a whole nother business, you know? He's just a baby. He saw, he came, he conquered. There was no need telling her friend that Tony had intended to give the cat to Eva. He knew his sister wanted a pet more than anything in the world, hence he had made a decision to cheer her up with a toy at least. Aww. I can't emulate my original reaction to that, but yeah. Realizing her brother had a heart of gold, Eva smiled softly. And we do this creepy ass zoom in, hoping that one of these things don't fuck you up. Did that fucker blink? Did this move? I swear to fucking God, this might have moved right here. Or I blinked. One of the two happened. Either I blinked or it blinked. I think this button was over here. I'm already losing my shit again. Need to take my meds. They passed by Miss Harvard's terrace, curiously eyeing her odd dolls. Twilight made cat silhouettes look creepy, whereas their pearl button eyes were reflecting light. And they're only gray cats. If they were black cats, we'd have a real problem. In case I go crazy one day, I'm definitely by a crib close to the park. The neighbors here are my perfect match. Yeah, I can't stand this street. It must be lost in time and space. How about going through the square? And so our adventurers went a different path. The wind there was blowing way harsher, and the air was filled with the smell of raw wooden planks and rotting garbage. Brian fixed the backpack that had crawled down his shoulder, carrying his baseball team equipment inside. He came closer to Ashley and said, I'm so fed up with this stupid school. All these teachers, homework, tests. But the studying year just got started. That's why I want to study even less. There's nothing worse than the first months at school after summer. He jumped over a puddle and gave his hand to Ashley. It's like wearing the old trainers you've already grown out of. Can't wait for college. When I start working, I'll buy real catcher's gear. Or at least a better glove. Look at this. Look at this. They hold hands. I made note of that the first time. That's the reason why I felt like I had to point it out again. After the first session, his palms still hurt. The equipment having been given to the school team left much to be desired. Better buy a slugger straight away. It'll pay off much sooner because you'll be a bouncer at a bar in the best case. Ashley laughed at his Ashley laughed at his childishness. Brian completely did not get the complexity of the world he was living in. Dad says that a good job like the one he has is hard to find without higher education. Whenever getting nervous or saying something important, Ashley grabbed her Leo Zodiac pendant to calm herself down. College is just another place to study. This world's too cruel. Illnesses, starvation, school. I like school, though. Michael tried to squeeze in the conversation. All the way long, he was trailing behind the rest of the guys and suspiciously glancing at a parked pickups, as if they could bite. That something feels wrong in that. All the way long, all the while. There we go. Michael tried to squeeze in the conversation. All the while, he was trailing behind the rest of the guys. Is this a run-on? No. I think so. Anyways, all the while, Michael tried to squeeze in the conversation. All the while, he was trailing behind the rest of the guys. And suspiciously glancing at parked pickups as if they could bite. I guess party group would work there, either or. He could not keep up with his friends after he had noticed two body silhouettes on the front seats of an old Ford. A female and a male ones. The mutilated faces were turned towards Michael. He could have sworn he heard a hoarse, gurgling whisper. Which one? Which one is the female? I don't know which one's the female. Turn back. At that moment, light flashed over one of the doorsteps, dispersing the blackness. And they were gone. Both seats appeared to be empty. As simple as that. Someone attached a hanger with a local flour mill attire on a handle near a passenger seat. Michael wiped sweat off his forehead and listened carefully to what his friends were speaking about after he saw some fucked up shit. Crazy he kept that all inside. I feel like some people would have been like, what the Your friends would be like, what the? You good? Yeah, I think. Of course, Mikey. I'd love school too if I had the same scores as you. Exactly. Quickly agreeing with Ashley, Brian squeezed her hand. Maybe I should wear glasses too. What if homework isn't gonna look so boring? Wonder if homework isn't gonna look so boring through them. They walked by the Murdoch's front garden and appeared on the street flooded with pink and blue lights. They walked by the Murdoch's front garden and appeared on the street flooded with pink and blue light of store signboards. They walked by Murdoch's front garden and appeared on the street flooded with pink and blue light of store signboards. God, I have repeated this 5 times. They walked by Murdoch's front garden and appeared on the street flooded with pink and blue light of store signboards. There we fucking goes. I'm going with it. Okay? Fuck it. Also, I've never seen a pharmacy. Maybe it's me. I've heard people call it a drugstore. I've never ever seen a pharmacy advertise themselves. Hey, drugs, bitch. Come get your drugs. Drug, 1 drug, 2 drugs. Drugs. Just the whole ass sign is just drugs. This is an undercover operation by the police. What they did is they essentially said, we're going to make a farmer's market-esque place for the local dealers. And essentially, now the dealers have a place to deal, supposedly. They can go and all the people can directly get it and meet the plugs directly. You can meet your dealer directly. It's local. Making sure everyone gets supported in their community. That's the only reason you'd have a full-ass drug sign. And the crazy thing is people would fall for that if actually people did it. What the fuck? Okay, maybe that's me. I'm focusing too much. All right. You better stop complaining. It's only 3 years left to study at school. Just imagine. It's gonna be a completely different life after. We might stop keeping in touch ever since. If friendships are real, no distance ain't a problem. Dad calls us friends from other states every single day.
She also wanted to add that they mainly have business conversations and dispute quite often, but she considered it to be unnecessary for the guys to know.
Well, to break you up, a couple of... Copula? A copula? Isn't that a grammar word? A copula cornfields. My ass, that's not my vocab. I know a lot of words, but I don't know that damn... One second. I swear that's copula, as in like grammar.
Copula. I'm thinking of copula. That is copula. Oh, so it's a couple of cornfields. What the fuck?
Well, to break you up, a couple of cornfields and state borders ain't enough. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, we roll a copula. Say a couple, bitch. Or use any other fucking... I love shortening words, but really? A couple. Some of them. Two of them. One of them. Two of them will work. Right there. They're getting southern. 1 second translation. What the hell does Ashley's dad, your love, and cornfields have in common? Look around.
Eva stopped and pointed in the direction of the houses swaying in the darkness.
Is anything really happening up here? Drunk Jim who drove a tractor into a ravine seems to be the only breaking news over the last half of a year. Of course, adulthood is a real challenge. People grow up, and then they start to feel sorry that sorry time flew up. Of course, adulthood is a real challenge. People grow up, then they start to feel sorry time flew by so fast. Want to experience school life again. Of course, adulthood is a real challenge. People grow up, then they start to feel sorry time flew by so fast, and want to experience school life again.
Personally, I don't think it's school life they want to experience again. I think it's the social aspect. I'm gonna pause this real quick because this is one of the areas where the background, because it keeps flickering the fucking light, it can make you lag. And I was thoroughly surprised that it was so dynamic that the fucking thing. Visual novels rarely cause any goddamn issues. Anyways, it's because of all this technical shit, like right here. The VCR effect and shit, glitches and constant flashes. Anyways, getting away from that. There's no settings to affect it. Anyways. Okay. I think what it is with that isn't that we really want to go back to school, because I think they say that in a moment. Anyways, I think we like the social aspect of it. The concept of having all the people you know, all the people your age congregate to one area and be there for like 7 hours. It's very easy to get friends and you're around people all the time. Whereas when you get older, the process of gaining friends is a whole nother business, because not everybody goes to the same places anymore. So now you have to be more like selective. If you're like, oh, I want friends, and you're trying to like go by a hobby. You're like, oh, I like video games. Then you have to go somewhere where you may find other people who like video games. And you may have to go to conventions, concerts, like all these sort of little things to potentially find friends or partners. This is the same thing people do trying to find a significant other, right? It becomes a whole thing. That's way different from when you're younger and it's just like everybody is in one area. Because it's just like, hey, everyone my age and like around my age is at the school. It isn't like I have to go search and it's a harder process. It's just right there. It's also the whole thing people throw around with, when you get older. When you were younger, you wanted to be an adult because of the concept of being able to buy and own your own things and the concept of having all that freedom. But when you're looking back as an adult, you look back and you're like, I want to go back to that where I don't have all these responsibilities. There's less people like relying on me. I don't have taxes, all that kind of shit. I have freedom to do whatever the hell. Whereas when you're looking up, you're like, oh, but it's the freedom to buy things and do this. And, you know, I can do whatever I want. The dichotomy of man and woman, men, I guess, humans. Yes. I guess any conscious living thing, I think, sentient would cause that sort of cycle. Anyways. Seeking for the right words. Seeking for the right words, she took a pause.
It's like going back to the fairy tale you haven't been grateful for earlier. Just nice words, nothing more. Bring adults back to their student books and they'll howl the next day. Can't remember any fairy tale where you had to read Walt Whitman's poetry. What about you, Michael? Me neither.
The friends were strolling from one store to another, looking at flickering signboards. Up close, they no longer seemed bright and cheerful. They were rather fatigued and misplaced in the middle of a dilapidated suburb. I fuck up that word, you'd be thoroughly surprised. So many fucking times. Before and now. In the middle of a dilapidated suburb. There we go. I'm not redoing the whole damn line.
Let's go home, okay? Dad's on shift today, but he might want to come over to grab a bite. And if I'm not there...
Brian scratched his neck with his finger and stuck out his tongue. Ashley laughed and punched him in the shoulder. However, Michael, trailing behind everyone, suddenly stopped and looked at the only signboard that sparkled as cheerfully and brightly as the day it had been hung on.
The arcade's open. There must be no one there right now. We can play Street Fighter.
Usually quiet and calm, he now bloomed. His eyes were shining with passion behind the thick glasses.
Wait, totally. No stupid helpers, suckers, or high school jerks.
The boys leaned on the dusty window with such a happy look. The boys leaned on the dusty window with such a happy look as though they saw their idols. The girls did nothing but snorted with irritation.
Who's gonna run to their crib to avoid daddy's slaps? I'm ready to risk it. A chance to get kicked in the head by dad is always there, but a chance to throw Hadoukens and not wait in a freaking line for the game machine? They need so little to be happy, don't they?
Ashley took a glance at her friend.
Let them play. By the way, did you hear about a story about a game machine that appears in halls by itself?
Ashley rolled her eyes. Eva's fantasies had little in common with reality, and if you look over here, she actually does. Oh my god, look at that!
You start playing and cannot stop. The game's impossible to end, but you try over and over again, forgetting about food and having to go to the bathroom over and over again, not thinking of your parents and friends over and over again until you run out of your allowance to have breakfast and stay hungry for the rest of the week because you're dumb. Or hangry for the rest of the week because you're dumb.
Michael peeled away from the glass and adjusted his lopsided glasses.
Well, this cabinet isn't this scary if you got no allowance. How about getting in? Gosh, they're looking at us like dogs at a food bowl. Gosh, they're looking at us like dogs do at a bowl of food.
Ashley waved her hand imperiously. Jesus.
It's creepy to go home when it's so dark outside, but in case you win 100 tickets, we're gonna pick a prize.
If you hear the snaps, I'm literally just vibing to the music. The music in this game is really good. It'll be throwing you for a loop sometimes. Game, don't you do it. Don't you do it, game. Game, you take an awful long time to load. This will be the second time you crashed at this particular spot. Game.
Will it crash again?
No, Act 2. It's high time for games.
Sorry. My god, it crashed again at that exact point. I want you to mind you real quick. Let me say it real quick.
It crashed the first time I tried to play this. That right then. And then I tried to get it all working again, and I had to literally do my first save. That was my way to get around it.
This time I did the exact same thing. And this time I let it go all the way through, and my fucking Steam crashed right after. Like, what the hell?
Last time, I just sort of let it go, and then my Steam was fine.
No, but though it was frozen for a bit. God damn. Jesus.
Alright. The spacious room was stuffy, filled with strong odors of hot plastic and pungent berry freshness.
Yeah, smells just like my useless wasted time. As if. It smells different at school.
Samples from screensavers and sounds of demo walkthroughs created a terrible cacophony. No wonder the cashier, bored at the plastic counter, shielded himself from the noise with greasy headphone cushions. There was nobody inside except for the staff member, yet the floor was peppered with some garbage like crumpled soda cans and chocolate bar wrappings. 30 minutes were left before closure. At this hour, local kids could be hanging out here only during summer holidays. The hall was stuffed with diverse video game machines. Game names were glowing on signboards in an intriguing manner. Again and again, the cuts of deliberately failed attempts to beat a level were flashing by on the screens. The boys started searching for the most interesting and desired game. They literally let you click on them. So look, bap. Donkey Kong, an arcade golden oldie. The game machine is ancient and in poor condition. The signboard is barely flickering. One of the buttons is cracked. I'm avoiding the next two we can click on are just Street Fighter and this one. I didn't know if we can click on any others. All right. I say that because I clicked on. I did this exact order that I'm reading them in, but I thought there was an additional one that I didn't get to read. You'll find out why. Galaga. Formerly it was one of the most famous games. Now this veteran arcade cabinet is used only while the others are busy. And with all, a couple of truly insane nerds try to break the record of some Lily the Rat twice or thrice a month. However, unsuccessfully. And look at the leaderboard back to Elliot Davis, Andrew Brooks, Zoe Reed, Jesse Hall, and Bob Robinson. Next and last, Street Fighter. Ryu and Ken froze on the signboard, ready to jump into Street Fighter. Ryu and Ken froze on the signboard, ready to jump each other. This one is the best out of all the games which have ever been seen in this hall. The floor around the arcade machine is brightly polished with every age school guy's sneakers. It's over here. The boys ran towards the game machine. A cardboard with a harshly blood-curdling writing was stuck to the screen. Temporarily out of order. No cashier cannot fix it.
God, why are you so unjust? What god do computer nerds have? This monkey with a barrel in its paws?
Brian grumbled something in response, and Michael solely shrugged. A technician's gotta, well, this is one of the fuck-ups. A technician's gotta come not earlier than, and Dan, next Tuesday. A technician's gonna come no earlier than Tuesday. Let's go choose another game, buddies. Try Road Blasters. It's the freshest here. I don't know why I went to a damn country accent, but I'll be damned. The cashier pointed at a brand new arcade cabinet, which displayed a car blown up just now and drowned in a fiery pixel cloud.
Dang it.
Michael's voice trembled. He seldom let himself demonstrate such emotions, so Brian decided to support his friend.
What else have you got without cars?
Then, I've got all that and a bag of chips for you. If you're in the top 5 Pumpkin Man table, you'll win a double prize. He nodded towards the counter.
Alright, no one really plays this trash, then we've got a shot at setting a record. I'ma save real quick because this is important.
A gray cat was laying on the chair next to another game. She captured the girl's attention. The 4 letters were shining on a pink collar. My voice cracked, Jesus, on a pink collar. Lucy.
So sweet, so sweet.
Pet the cat. Yes, always pet the cat. Pet the cat. What was her pet? The cat flattens her ears and grumbles.
I'm betting $5 she forgot how clean palms with no cheese snacks stink feel. Lucy looks pretty much like the cat Mom was trying to draw last month. Let me guess. The cat had mandibles and a pair of tentacles in the drawing. I wish the cat had that. She's just part of the background. Mom draws people. You know yourself, Hal.
Ashley knew and therefore preferred not to recall those drawings once again. Does that mean, I'm saving for a reason, you'll understand. Does that mean that, the way they made that seem so awkward, Is it like with models? Like that would be the only way I think that could be awkward. Is that just me? Meanwhile, the boys approached the Pumpkin Man corn-operated cabinet. Instead of usual Mr. or Mrs. Pac-Man, a bright orange pumpkin was flying around hard levels and eating licorice candies. The display was burning the eyes with poisonous shades, whereas a bunch of colorful blots were chasing the voracious pumpkin. Are these ghosts? What you think? Michael cast an attentive glance at the signboard. Here's a hunter firing the pumpkin with a shotgun. These are uneasy hunter souls then. Awesome. Let him catch the pumpkin and everyone's gonna be happy. The hunters are in graves and we're home. Decisively, Brian took a handful of coins out of his pocket and threw them in the co-op acceptor. Back home? With no prize? I ain't leaving unless we empty out the counter. The cashier shivered fearfully. We're closing in half an hour. Brian winked at Michael and uttered softly. Then he's gonna have 15 more minutes to cry over his empty counter. Lock in, boys. It's time. I was surprised when they did this. I did not expect them to make me play. I haven't played Pac-Man in so long. Like, so long. This is a weird game to commentate, I swear. I gotta admit, I'm not really go ahead and get it all. Oh my god. Also, the buttons feel weird. So you're aware. You're not like, oh my god, how? If you're like, oh, you should be a veteran. Bro, Pac-Man is so... It's been so long. And it feels like there's a little slight delay when you hit the button. Bitch, run! Run for your life, bitch! See what I mean? I swear I hit the damn button. Run up there. All right, here we go again. I'm not getting any high damn scores. I don't give a damn. I should have grabbed that one. I shouldn't chase after them, but I'm doing it anyway. Go ahead and get over here. And go up. Grab this. Probably shouldn't have grabbed that yet. Grab that. Go up. Get these. And let's level. Boom. You only gotta do two levels. I'm sure you could probably get a higher score, and I'm actually curious what happens if you get a higher score. If potentially you'll see how the next part plays out. Anyways. I had to lock in. Sorry, no talking. Commentating over Pac-Man feels weird. I probably could, but it's... Anyways, that's it. Give me tickets, you piece of stupid iron. The cabinet pushed out 50 tickets that could be exchanged for an interesting thing. Good job, Michael. You played like a beast. You too. Did a lot better than in chemistry class today. Not sure I could have completed the level where ghosts exceeded candies. Brian looked around with a self-satisfied smile on his face. To his disappointment, there were no girls in the hall to celebrate his triumph. They were just coming out of the bathroom and discussing something. You missed such a great thing. Did a space shuttle land on the square? No. Then I don't see any reason for such delirious joy. Brian pointed at the long reel of tickets Michael was holding. It's way cooler than any shuttle. Let's go. High time we pick the prize. The cashier wasn't around. Only at the closet entrance, a curtain made of decorative bamboo was slowly swaying. 1 second. Saving is a fucking necessary. If it fucking crashed, I'd be so fucking upset. Sorry. Atmosphere. All of a sudden, the hall seemed surprisingly empty.
Where did he go? I don't know.
Brian carefully came to the counter and knocked on the table with his knuckles. They heard something shambling behind the bamboo curtain. It had made them. Someone made a loud breath and froze. They heard someone shambling behind the bamboo curtain, which made them let out a loud breath, and they froze. The game machines were beeping unceasingly. Unnecessarily, yes. The signboard lights became strangely weak, while the devouring darkness sneaked into the hall.
Hello? Anybody here?
No reply followed.
All right, let's bounce. I don't want to wait for this freak.
The cashier took off his mask and laughed out loud. If only you could see your faces.
We didn't even make a sound. What a flat prank.
The cashier grimaced as though he had sipped lemon juice. You critics. Alright, pick a prize. I see your reel's pretty long. And we literally get to pick once again. Unfortunately, most of what's here is not available. Like, look, don't even say unavailable. This is available, but we ain't got no damn 10,000 winning tickets. How in the hell are you supposed to get 10,000? Do you have to like excel at the game or some shit? I swear to God. Then again, it could be just something that in the full game, you come back to the arcade and it's a whole thing. But alas, we cannot do it ourselves because we do not have 10,000 tickets. A Nintendo Game Boy, 10,000 winning tickets, the best prize ever, the wildest boy's dream. I wonder how long you're supposed to play to win this many tickets. Who knows? Unavailable, god damn it. This is a prize for Michael, Rubik's Cube, 35 winning tickets. A good but hard puzzle. Michael loves such things. He is most likely to solve it within 15 minutes. And unavailable. And completely nothing to say about this or this, unfortunately. Which means, of course, we can only select the thing for Michael. I imagine full game, these will be options, and it'll be like, oh, you can get this for her, this for her, this. But for now, we can only do it for Michael.
Let's award the Gamer of the Night. Michael, do you want the cube? It looks fly. I've never seen anything like this before.
Michael nodded in a shy way. He's not used to getting anything on the first try.
Girls, don't you mind?
Eva was gazing at the Chainsaw Massacre, there we go. Eva was gazing at the Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface mask, stretching over a jar of cheap sausages and a marinade, and seemed to forget about everything happening around her.
There's nothing else to choose between. I took a look at the magic ball box. It was a shoddy fake. It got very few answers. Modern balls are way cooler. And more interesting. Take it, Mike, and let's get out of here. I
don't know if I just didn't want to do the voice. It's probably fading with time. The cashier grabbed a ticket and threw the cube to Michael, who was smiling. I'll give you some for the rest of the tickets. He elevated a cassette from the shelf and clicked it on his finger. He clicked his fingers on it. Now no one knows what's recorded here. Once I just found it in the hall. Brian took a look at his friends. Michael was twisting the cube with such a great involvement that he could not hear what the cashier was offering, and he looks completely disinterested as this has taken his full ass attention.
You mean you're gonna give us somebody else's cassette instead of an additional prize?
But Eva, having finished examining his mask, took the prize swiftly and hid it inside her bag.
Booyah! We got an extra profit.
Oh god, didn't even want to hassle. Bargain. Brian grimaced when looking at the cashier who was hiding the tickets into his wallet.
We seem to have gotten screwed. It's a strange and mysterious cassette. Isn't it enough?
As if teasing, the light from the game machines gleamed accurately on the coveted Game Boy pack.
No, it's not.
They moved towards the exit, as our party journeyed once more towards another location. Now, finally, on the way home. Hopefully, as it has grown late and they have been outside for too damn long. Game, do not do this shit again. I know I saved, so I'm prepared just in case. Please do not crash again. Please, what the hell, man? Mate, before, bro, work with me now. Come on, work, please. Please, I don't want to have to deal with the whole process. Oh, there we go. Act 3, a bad sign. I was afraid, I'm not gonna lie. That was the bad side. And before we read, we save. That's the main issue so far, as you can tell, is it being optimization. I don't know if it's my computer. I don't have a high-end computer, sure, but it isn't. It's not low yet. It's getting there. You know, it's deprecating. It's not low though, not yet. We're getting there. If something new came out with no support for any change in settings, I think I'd suffer. So sort of like this, because there's no way to change any of the graphical things. All I would do is tone these down a little bit, and I think that's what's causing all the issues. I like the backgrounds and everything though. This is beautiful. Everything else, boom. All right. The majority of signboards were already off. The darkness of night extricated the thickets, deep basements and narrow alleys. It splashed out onto the square, plunging into the darkness. What are you talking about? The damn drugs light is still on. If anybody who wants some damn drugs in the middle of the night, the light's still on, the door's still open. Just come on in, the local plug and everything all inside. All right, what is this back here? Stamps? Yeah, sorry. Got distracted. Toy World too. All right. Only a few parked pickups and bicycles tied up with lock cables were next to Marshal Sue's bar. The wind was sweeping over the fields, the element used to playing with harvest corn, and now moaned, immersing the suburb into melancholy.
Well, we seem to be late. Granny and Grandpa will be upset with my late comeback. And nothing worse will happen if you come back a bit later, right? Go on, Mike. Show us what you got. If only you saw what he was doing. He's a hella pumpkin master.
Humble Michael took out his Rubik's Cube and turned several faces with a ringing click.
Nice. What else are we gonna waste our time on? How about pouring water from the school fountain into the river?
Rapidly, Eva pulled out the cassette and demonstrated it to her friends.
Well, that's something worth our time. What you think? Is it gonna be a movie or a cartoon on here? Really, it could be anything. Just imagine.
Disappointed in the dull Rubik's Cube, Brian glimpsed at the additional prize.
I really hope it's gonna be something worthy. Yet it looks like a maniac recorded the harassment here and couldn't wait to make it public. And it whiffs disgustingly. And it smells disgustingly. I feel like no one says Did people in the 90s say whiffs? It whiffs disgustingly. Any 90s people here? Well, I guess not born in the 90s. A little older. I've heard whiffs as a word, yes. I've never heard it replace smells. Like I caught a whiff of it, you know? Like that, it works.
Nobody knew why. Eva sniffed the cassette and handed it to Ashley. The girl grimaced in response.
Bri?
Brian sniffled. Brian sniffed it. He could not detect any old plastic odor. Instead, it produced a stench of lake silt, acidic rust, stagnant water, waxed leather with an admixture of sweat. The odors were mixing in the most unimaginable way, and each of them could be caught without any difficulty.
Don't you love it when the worst fucking things come together and you could smell all of it in one go, and you can distinctly tell what is in it? This is weird. That's what I'm talking about. We gotta see what's...
At that particular moment, Michael screamed and swore.
Fuck.
Just throw out a word.
Ah, fuck.
Michael spun to him. Michael shook his finger. Not Michael spun, he spun to himself. The friend spun to him. Michael shook his index finger and put it into his mouth.
If the cube ain't made out of sugar, that's totally weird. What happened, Mike?
The boy hid the cube into his pocket and forced a smile. His face was covered in sweat. His eyes were dancing anxiously.
It's all good. Just pinch my finger. Turn a face the wrong way.
I have used a Rubik's Cube. I imagine most people have. How the hell do you pinch yourself so much that fucking blood flies? Did you see how much?
Maybe it was because the pink light and my brain is remembering more red than actually was there. How in the hell? Maybe it's the old models for the Rubik's Cube were extremely unsafe and had sharp ass corners and were extremely pinch worthy that would cut you all the fucking way and shit. That maybe there's a chance, but I don't know about that, there, Chief. Mark my words, a place where Street Fighters never appeared doesn't know what a good toy and fun mean. How about throwing the cube under Abraham's tow truck? Just imagine the details fly apart. It's gonna be incredible. I'm 110%. It's gonna be incredible. I'm 110% sure Steven Spielberg's gonna shoot a movie about this fantastic event. I mean, this day was crazy and a waste of time. Isn't it about time to go home?
Nobody disagreed, so the company went to the newest district of the town. It did not have such junk as the park did, and families living there were comparatively wealthy. Blah, blah, blah. Ashley's house was the first one on their way, so the friends stopped by the decorative fence. The only light was in their parents' bedroom on the second floor, which meant Ashley had to make dinner herself and have it cold.
Yo, damn, my parents ain't gonna make this shit. Or they haven't made her shit? Oh, wait, no, it'd have it cold. My bad. Ash, you have an old video player in your shed, don't you? You suggest that we watch the cassette? Well, it could make our evening a little better. But as far as I remember, our boys gotta go home.
Instead of answering, Brian jumped over the fence and motionlessly began to wait for his friends.
Michael, and you?
Michael nodded and quickly caught up with Brian.
Did you solve the cube? No, I'll try again tomorrow. Let's check what's on the tape.
He should have started doing his homework long ago instead of wandering along the streets. Perhaps his grandmother was about to call the police and demand a search for her grandson. However, little did he want to go back home. I have had the most difficulty with this game. My God. It crashed again. And then, after getting it all fixed and sorted out. One, I don't know if the footage is fine. I'll find that out later. If it's not, oh my God, I'll have to redo fucking footage again. Anyways. And I mean whole crash. Everything, like I stepped out the room, came back, my whole fucking PC restarted. Jesus Christ. And on top of that, I just played the next 30 minutes of gameplay and forgot to hit the fucking record button. Oh, we're so back. Oh yes, back into all the bullshit and fucking up and all that. Alright, back here we go again. Michael had a look at his finger. The wound was still bleeding out. The nail in the flesh seemed to have been cut with a sharp edge. The only way, like that's a lot of fucking blood, like I said before. The only way that this thing got cut that bad is if this thing's like all metal. Or it's like a blade or some shit. That's the only way that makes sense. How the hell do you get this much blood? The worst part was the feeling of the cube growing right inside Michael's pocket. Did it get bigger? Like, how the hell does it grow? That very cube which harshly pinched his finger. That very cube which had bloody fingerprints on it. That very cube which showed off a pattern invisible before. The 4 carved letters. Y-O-U-R. Your. I believe it's supposed to say yours, but do not mind that. Immersive break right now. Your. Then the pattern disappeared, as if it had never been there.
Come on, let's get to the shed and check what kind of recording we got.
Act 4, a comfy place. I literally Literally already just played through this damn chapter. So if I'm hard on my damn commentary, I'm sorry. I did all of my commentary for this part twice already. 2 different fucking sessions too. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time. Let me save real quick. Oh my god, overwrite this save. Oh my god, yay. I'm gonna have to pop up. Oh, here we go. Okay. Alright. According to the friend's opinion, the shed was the best and coziest place in the whole suburb. But that day, they were not alone in the shelter. Chris, Ashley's older brother, was there too. He was laying on a time-worn carpet and playing a new Sega Genesis. I personally never, ever played on a new Sega Genesis. This was before my time a little bit. My first console was a Game Boy. My cousin had one and I ended up getting it. We were raised like brothers. But because of that, I ended up playing it and whatnot for a little bit. And then, what's the next one after that? I think, yeah, it was the original Xbox, wasn't it? Yeah. Yep. Then I got my own 360, and that was the first time I owned a console. Anyways, I never played anything on the new Sega Genesis. It's like a old school. I know of it, though. I believe that's what I said last time. Yeah, See, I'm going to try to recite what I said to some degree. It's probably not going to be perfect, but I'm going to try to hit the same points again in probably a less organic way. I'm sorry, but I need to... anyways... Ashley just remembered her brother was punished for coming home drunk. Crunk, it works both ways, after another party. He was not allowed to meet his friends for a month. Some of his buddies seemed to have lent him the dope video game console so that Chris would not get bored home alone. Yes, a dope video game console. When the front door squeaked, he automatically hid a red Marlboro pack underneath the pillow. Ew, it's you suckers. Oh, that dad showed up and was about to teach me again how to live this life. What you doing up here? Baby Ashley decided to show you our true family treasures. If I'm losing my voice, it's because I've talked for so damn long because it kept crashing and I've had to redo shit. Sorry. Old furniture was living out its days in the shed. Unnecessary equipment was covered in dust. Some other small stuff was stored there since everyone was too lazy to get rid of it. Ashley's family was rich enough not to sell all that junk, so a lot had been stuffed into the shed. Let's start here. The old motorbike. About 3 years ago, when Ashley and Brian had not been dating yet, he had saddled it up and driven it into the creek. Ashley had burst into laughter, and Brian had been banned from visiting Ashley's house. It seemed the ban still was not lifted. Doesn't that mean he's banned right now? Wait a minute. Didn't even think of that. Okay. Also, I'll say the same thing I said fucking last time again. This looks, I've never seen an old motorbike. This is not what I envision. My mind goes towards this looking like a tiller, like for garden and shit. And because it looks like the one that we had, I'm gonna go ahead and go to this now. There was definitely more I said, but I don't remember right now. The antique mirror. Little Ashley loved looking at it, and imagining herself to be a Disney princess. Barely did Eva notice barely. Yeah, I don't remember what the fuck this word is supposed to be. I tried my best. Did Eva notice the mirror? She immediately, as soon as Eva noticed the mirror, she immediately decided that Bloody Mary, if she was meant to come to the world, would 110% come out of it. All right, the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow from the Bennett's field. It's funny, Ashley asked her brother to steal it after the Bennett's youngest daughter had lost her doll. It's hard to believe, but Eva claimed the Scarecrow to be moving. The archaic Pong video game console produced by Atari. Ashley's father would play it as a teenager. The only controller has been broken long ago, as well as the console itself. Bro, old consoles, I love them. I still have my 360. I don't have the first one because I experienced on 2 different occasions the red ring of death. And the towel trick. The towel trick did work, but still, I had issues later. But I still have one, and I don't have a controller that works for it, which is like, oh man, I just have the old games too. Wouldn't be able to play them right now. It says that because you want to go back and play games and you really can't. Especially since, like, nowadays, owning stuff is in debate in concepts of physical media, which we've never really had it be updated since the olden days, which definitely needs to be. But that's sort of where we are with, do you own something or not? And definitely one of the benefits is the old console, like going back and being able to play it.
Because it still works. I just don't have a controller for it. I have a controller, but I don't have batteries for it. And I don't even remember. I think the controllers I have, I don't think they work. So I need to get another 360 controller. Anyways, you get the point. Like, having this kind of shit's so fun. And then also thinking about it with in comparison to today, and not guaranteeing that you can have a game. I've brought Ninja Gaiden Black 2. It's Gaiden. I say Gaiden because I said it when I was a child. I bought that game 3 times, and it's because of situations like that. My God. And I know people have done the same thing with other games. Crazy to think about. Anyways, back to this. Look at that. I got something new in there. All right. Chris, Ashley Brothers punching bag. The sports gear is out of shape. Someone must have thrown hatchets and darts at the bag. Chris took the pack and pulled out a cigarette with his teeth. A thought to remember this trick crossed Brian's mind. It looked thrilling. Brian doubted this trick would be as natural as Chris, but it was worth a little practice too.
Don't you have to stay in your room and pose penance?
And what about you? Shouldn't you be catching Z's instead of wandering around dark streets? Or you want to compete in who's going to disappoint our parents the most? He exhaled a ring of blue smoke, making it clear who the winner was. Making it clear who the winner was. Winner was. Making it clear who the winner was. My voice fucked up there. Anyways.
No, I do not. No, I don't care about my future. We just wanted to watch a cassette. Be so kind and go do something else for a bit. We need the TV.
As if. Go home, kids. He turned to the TV screen and continued to play. To deceive Chris, or to persuade Chris.
So I think the way that this is going to work, especially in this situation, because we can't click the persuade, it's either this isn't implemented in the demo, or it's because we got the cube for Michael. And maybe that changes a good part of the story of what is happening up until this point from the arcade. Michael is the main one who's been fucked with too, which is quite interesting to point out, right? He saw the person in the car, the 2 people in the car, and then he has the situation now where he cut his finger, and then the situation out there where it says "your" and all that, right? So it's interesting to think about if maybe we chose a different thing. Would we have a different option here? It's not available in the demo, obviously, but the concept of it is the interesting part here, as well as seeing how these things play out in visual novels where there's a choice, choices. I love how that comes together. Anyways, since we can't do anything other than deceive, let's go ahead and do it right now.
He turned to the TV and continued to play, if I didn't know how to say this. Ashley did not mean to step back.
Then I'll exchange a TV for some important info. Then I'll exchange the TV for some important info. Important for you, bro.
Go on. He was still looking at the screen through smoke clouds and dynamically clicking on the gamepad buttons.
We stumbled upon your cronies, Sam and Bobby, right? They were asking if your punishment. We stumbled upon your cronies, Sam and Bobby, right? They were asking if your punishment was over. If I could fucking speak, Jesus. We stumbled upon your cronies, Sam and Bobby, right? They were asking if your punishment was over, and said they were so upset you couldn't keep them company.
Chris took a careful look at his sister. Sam and Bobby were real douchebags. Lots of rumors about their wicked deeds were flying around the town. Ashley knew her brother was afraid of the guys, but still did everything to squeeze into their gang and constantly treated them with drinks and cigarettes. You think I'm gonna buy it?
But it's true. I also saw them near the old water tower. It seemed they were going to steal Pam's motorbike and ride it to the flour mill factory.
Chris jumped up and almost burned his fingers with the cigarette. Why the hell did they need to go to the factory? Chris knew his sister could make up any nonsense on the spot to take advantage of it. But to be honest, he trusted Eva. He thought her to be a good girl, unable to lie. Chris knew his sister would make up any nonsense on the spot to take advantage of it. But to be honest, he trusted Eva. He thought her to be a good girl, unable to lie.
Grandpa says tow truck drivers sometimes get bourbon in cans secretly to the factory, and many locals buy it during night shifts. The best bourbon you can get in our state. Well, that's what he says. That's what he says. Or that's what he says.
I think the guys weren't going to buy the drink, but steal it. That could be fun.
He broke in his sneakers and hurried to the door. Finally, he looked over his shoulders and promised, "Watch out, Four Eyes. If you're trying to ditch me, your ass is going to be in my punching bag next time. Eva, you're not counted." Chris left, and Michael Michael wiped sweat off his cold forehead, if I can speak.
He isn't gonna punch me, is he? Is he, guys? It's Ashley's brother, not a damn high schooler who bogarts kids' cheddar.
Ashley would not agree with this. Chris changed lately. He had done sports, never smoked, or followed downright idiots before.
So, let's start, okay?
Eva looked over the moon. The cassette was not the only reason for it.
Turn it on, Brian.
Brian changed the TV to AV mode and inserted the cassette into the cassette player. Static noise danced on the screen, curved and covered in dust. A soft hiss came from the speakers, followed by a squeak.
I hope the tape's not blank. Hope the tape. Blah, blah, blah. I think I lost the ability to do her voice. God damn it! Fuck. Jesus Christ! No. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Ah, blah, blah, blah. It's like low female, which is hard to do anyways. Hope the tape's not blank. Otherwise, Michael will be beaten for no reason.
Michael shivered and began to look around as a furious Chris was already creeping towards him, with a fist raised to strike.
It can't be blank. Hurry up and take your seat so you won't miss anything.
Game, do not do this to me, game. Oh, Jesus.
Ooh, that scared the shit out of me. No, never again. Never. I refuse. All right, save.
Up, ever go beautiful. All right. Eva settled down in one of the pillows. The friends followed her example. The TV continued flickering, interfering with the peace of the shed. The wind got out of the fields and descended to the suburb, sneaking through the streets like a wild animal, looking for its prey. It leaned on the shed, making it sway, creak, and click like a popping joint. The light of the only lamp in the shed could not handle the shadows beaming at the piles of garbage in the corners.
Is there any other light in here?
Michael was left unanswered because the screen eventually showed a picture. Black and gray static stripes created an image, acquiring colors and shapes. One part became studio walls. Okay, it's getting louder. I'm gonna go into this. Other ones changed into decorations, suitable for some Friday night show. Those left developed the body of a host wearing a striped suit jacket. He was maybe I could do it right now? I was going to say something about me getting a cassette player. I was going to say I had a cassette player. It wasn't my own. I fucked up cassettes on it. Yes, that's what I said before. Something like that. Rewind. Oh my God. Fucked up the reel. Boom, bada bing. All right, there you go. I don't remember everything I said. That was the concept. All right. He was half turned and stared at the camera, as if waiting for a director's sign to start, or probably trying to see the audience on the other side of the screen.
He's not a maniac, at least. I wouldn't make fast decisions.
The music of an invisible orchestra burst out. Regardless, each of the musicians should have been wiped for their miserable performance, and never allowed to get close to musical instruments again. Welcome to the show, everybody. I clicked it a little quick, but it's the end of the demo. Congratulations, you have completed the demo version of the game, Pink Noise. As you might have guessed, the full game offers you a great variety of choices, so all the plot twists will be up to you. We are genuinely grateful for your interest in our project and your time spent playing. Don't forget to subscribe to our social media and stay tuned for upcoming news. See you soon. I'm going to go ahead and get to the menu, and then I'll talk about the game. Oh my God. I have been through a fucking journey with this game. This game is like 2 hours long, and I think I have like 8 to 9 hours in this game. My God, the technical issues I have had, and my computer is not the highest of ends, yes, but it is not low of the lows either. Unless the game is like really hyper realistic, I usually don't have an issue. This game, for whatever reason, just did not meld well. I had issue after issue. I enjoyed it, but my God, some of it was my own, like the missing recording and whatnot. But like the first corrupted one and then the corrupt, it crashed 2 times during this reshoot, essentially. What the fuck? It was always during the loading screens with that, by the way. So if that is important, it would lag if I stayed on a scene long enough. I think the loop would fuck up. So there's that. If we're trying to figure out what caused it, it's the dynamicness, in my opinion, in the loops. It's going to be the dynamicness of the backgrounds. And like even right now, if you look at the noise little bit right here, this, you could see it like goes through a whole dynamic thing. That right there, and it turns into literal noise and goes back. You could imagine, obviously, also based on where the menu screen, that the game is going to be based around probably the cassette tape and what we see on it, even maybe potential other cassette tapes. Overall, I enjoyed the game despite the technical issues that I had. I think the story is fun in and of itself, and the interactability is going to be the funnest part about it. Give me a second. I've just remembered something. My God, look! Do you hear how loud that is? I'm gonna get rid of effects real quick just so you guys can hear. Bitch, don't you get quiet now. I try to show you guys something. I'm gonna leave it there. Did you see how low that is? I'm gonna show you here in a moment. Anyways, ignoring that, enjoyed the game. The story was very interesting, and the interactability is an interesting concept when you get to like the playing in the arcade, as well as how dynamic everything was. I thought was really really interesting. I didn't expect you to be able to literally play the Pac-Man-esque game or the arcade game. I imagine you're probably going to go back to the arcade a couple times, and I imagine the story is going to take place over a multitude of days. So we're going to meet other characters and probably see other problems and situations unfurl in front of us. I'm curious to see how it all takes place, because we didn't really have anything big just happen yet. We've just had scenes and stuff lean in, like the yours bit, the bleeding of the finger, right? And then also the original shot at the very beginning where we saw the 2 people in the car dead, as well as that person. We saw the silhouette of a person in one of the rooms when walking by. And the zoom in, I swear that we need that the eye moved. Okay, I cannot confirm this information, but I believe it. Anyways, so we don't really know what's going on in terms of happening to us. We can use the menu a little bit. Obviously, you can see the person here and down here too. So I think it's going to be interesting seeing where the game goes in terms of story. Now, they may say it in the description. I don't read the description for this very reason. I like to go into it and find out. So if it does say it directly, well, obviously you can read that yourself, and I hope you're interested. And if you are, game is in the game description. The game link is in the description. I do that with every one of these games, and well, every game I play, really. It's just a little further down. It's usually not directly at the top, but it's directly always in my description. Anyways, I did enjoy the game. Here, listen to this damn music. And this bitch is turned down this much. Anyways, like I said, I really enjoyed the game, despite all the issues I had. If you are new to the channel, click that subscribe button. No, wait. If you guys like this video, click that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, click that subscribe button to meet up me in another one of my videos. If you guys wish to be notified in your email and on YouTube when I upload, click that notification bell. And I will catch you homies. Wait, notification bell. Gonna be notified in your email and on YouTube when I upload, click notification. Oh yeah. And I will catch you homies next. Low tide. Yes, I fucked up the outro. I forgot it for a moment. My brain, I remembered it and then forgot it and then tried to say it and then went all over the place. It is what it is. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Peace and have a good night. Or day, I guess, whatever time it is. Yeah, you get the point. Fuck the whole world, try to step on my dreams. Heard you talk shit, now you fucking with me. Reaper Death Seal couldn't contain the beast. 10-tail bomb, I'm Ginger a key. Fuck your whole team, they all fell with ease. I'm a black cyclone, run through the trees. I will rain death, just fall to your knees.